Hey guys, sup, Rudy here for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Council, and I am proud to bring you Tech Tuesday as always, and this Tech Tuesday, if you can't make out that card, is Malevolent Catastrophe. I probably butchered the first part of that, but it's okay. Basically, this is your answer to the Set 5 back row, artifacts, and everything that, well, pains you to deal with. Skill drains, Necro Valleys, and this isn't only going to work in just the oh, Ryu's supporting Lightsworn again. No, I made that guide to your side on Lightsworn, so if you need a link for anything, just ask and I'll put it down there for you. But the big thing here is basically if you're playing against hats, right? I don't have the key components to hat to get, with me, but they do all this and usually have a monster. When they attack, you Malcat, and when you Malcat, that's just a short abbreviation of saying Malevolent Catastrophe. You're going to destroy their back row, and they can't use any of it because it's not their turn, not the opponent's turn. Well, it is the opponent's turn, but it's not your turn. If it's your turn, they're going to get these special summons and all that. So that is something to keep in mind about this card. I've always been pro Heavy Storm, but we're not going to start an argument there on pro Heavy Storm. But before we go any further on this, because there's a lot of pros to this and a lot of cons to this, I just want to say, keep suggesting for Tech Tuesday, and I will constantly bring you new ones. Sometimes they'll be triple, sometimes they'll be double, sometimes they'll be single. This week it's single because of the constant amount of filming I've been doing all day. And this is the last video of the day I'm filming. It's like that final stretch. And basically, once this video is done filming, it's going into the render. And then tomorrow morning, it's going to be uploaded on private. So that way I can make sure everything is to the finest HD quality and all that fun, jizzy, jazzy stuff. It's been a little while since I've had a card actually in my hand, and I'm actually glad I have this on Tech Tuesday. These come common. This one, I believe, comes from the Merrick deck, but you can find these in multiple decks, so it is definitely not hard to find. They also come super rare from one of the Legendary Collections. I believe it's Legendary Collection 3. I'm not fully sure, so don't quote me on that. I can always just ask in the comments, and I can always find it for you. So, these are great for the meta. But what if you're not playing the meta? What if, you don't care about the meta? What if you just want to, basically, I'm just going to, do this so you can see the effect there. Activate only when the opponent's monster declares attack, destroy all spell and trap cards on the field. You could actually read right there, first edition. You can make all that fancy stuff out. Definitely something really nice there. Artwork is pretty snazzy too, I'm not going to lie. I'm a big, I have a big thing for artwork on cards because, well, it makes it more fun to play. But that's irrelevant. So, is this more of a side deck card for you, or is this more of a main deck card? That is going to be depending on your deck. If you're playing something like Skill Drain, then you're going to want to side this for things that are going to hurt you. If you have a problem against Blackwings, this is going to be great because guess what? Blackwings usually have a lot of back row. And remember how I say in the deck profiles, this is a helicopter flying over. The deck profile for Blackwings, how I don't like Black Sonic. Well, this is an easy out to that if you're having problems with that. But let's talk about something a little more relevant. No disrespect to anyone who's playing Blackwings. I've been playing Blackwings myself. But let's talk about something a little more relevant. What about something like Dark Worlds that have, I don't know, skill drain in them? Or, Dark Worlds. Let me get off Dark Worlds for a minute. Let's talk about Chit Dolls and their 5-set back row. Malcat to back row. Satella Knights have the Solemn Judgment, so obviously that's going to be a hard counter to this. Wiretap is still a thing, Trap Stuns is still a thing, and it's going to hurt this card, and it's going to hurt pretty badly. But you can always go into that situation and argue, well, there's always that counter for said card, and that's pretty much how this game's always going to be. And believe it or not, this is the most balanced TCG game out there right now. And you can quote me on saying that. I believe that wholeheartedly. I played the other games, and that's just how I see it. But, the other thing I want to mention here about Malcat, here's the negatives, as I said, is Wiretap, Trap Stun, easy to predict. Well, not easy to predict, but easy to stop. I mean, but think about it this way. You set it on the board, you're playing against Fire Fist, and they're set 5, you flip it up. You're playing against Boojins, their Kaiser Coliseum will lock you down. And you can't get over the back row. We know that Crane is still going to be an issue, and they're still going to have Hare and the Turtle, and the 15 other relics that the deck freaking runs. But this is going to be one big out to something that basically stops them. And Kaiser Coliseum is still going to be a threat. So Malcat it, milk out it for days. You could throw this pretty much in any deck, and it could be your heavy storm. It could be your calling. It could be the thing that stops everything that you've been having problems with. It can make you that much, a little bit sackier. This is a pretty sacky card. I'd be lying if I said otherwise. There are some fun little, you know, things you could do with this, like light it on fire if you really hate it. No, I'm joking. I'm seriously joking now. One of the downsides to this card is the infamous MST, which is starting to find its way back to main decks very slowly. Because it has to be set, unlike Heavy Storm, it can't just be played right away. So if they MST it before they attack it, or they Nightbeam it, Nightbeam's a great option too, that we'll be talking about on Tech Tuesday. Maybe tonight, maybe it'll be double. Who knows? Only Ryu knows. And we'll find out very shortly. I'm sorry about the helicopters. I don't know what the hell is going out there. They're trying to break in my house. Joking. Malcat's a great card though, and it's definitely one you should try either in your side deck or your main deck. But you guys let me know in the comments below, and I'm going to go jump over to Nightbeam, well, right now. So let's go jump into Nightbeam. Let me just first be honest here and say I did not plan for this to be a double Tech Tuesday this week, but why talk about Malcat and then not talk about Nightbeam when I mention Nightbeam, right? I wanted to give you the best content I possibly can. So here's Nightbeam, and it's only gotten one print, so remember, if this card sounds good to you, you know what to do. Pick it up. This comes from Galactic Overlord. There's the effect right there. Target one set spell or trap your opponent controls. Destroy that target. Your opponent cannot activate the target card in response to this card's activation. So pretty much, if I'm not mistaken here, or I'm making not making a mistake on the rules, basically it would shut down artifacts pretty damn nicely. So this is definitely one that you may want to start main decking. And remember, it comes from Galactic Overlord. You could probably find these for about $5 on the internet. It cannot be stopped by Trap Stun or Wiretap, which are two very popular cards right now. This works wonders against, even if you don't hit, like even if you hit the artifacts and it triggers them, it still works wonders against decks like, you know, Traptrix Hands or Madolche, stuff that's going to have back row. Works nicely against the Tellarknights, and definitely Tellarknights is the one I really have to mention here about Nightbeam here. Now I'm just going to quickly do this so people can actually see the name there. You know, someone's going to go, well, the Ultra Pro thing's in the way. Just to make sure you can see that. So, pretty much, as the card shows in the picture, you're basically sniping out a card and you don't have to worry about anything. So what might be some minuses to this, you may ask? Well, what if your opponent doesn't play any back row? What if you're playing against Lightsworn? Then this card's going to be pretty freaking dead. I mean, in the off chance that you do get lucky to hit a breakthrough skill or a beckoning light or just something like an MST that they set, it's not going to be all that great. So wouldn't you count this as a side deck card then? Not really, because we have such a diverse meta, it's kind of hard to say where this actually falls in. And as I said in the beginning of the video, if you actually find this useful for yourself, then make sure to pick them up on eBay. You can actually probably find these for $4.99, probably less than that. Definitely something that is very techy and something to run. It's good in twos. Anything higher, I think, is kind of pushing it. But that's up to you. But it's target one spell or set spell or trap, so it cannot destroy stuff like skill drain. That's where the other flaw is going to come in. MST is still better, but these two work great together, and you could just throw in like Malcat in there and just have like constant destruction on your opponent's back row. Now some of you are going to go, but MST, you know, an artifact, and you have problems. That's why you set the MST, wait to their end phase, and then play the MST so they can't chain said artifacts. That's something to keep in mind with MST and the versatility that MST still holds. But if you were truly afraid of that, or, you know, you're just tired of the constant back row, then Nightbeam is a great option. Or if you want to just full-on straight destruction it, don't mind this not being in sleeve right now, I have like 40 copies of these, then, you know, you want to use Malcat. You know, Malcat's the abbreviation, see like M-A-L and then cat there. You want to just use Catastrophe then. But some of the negatives, let's talk more about the negatives. You can't hit field cards, and we know that field cards are going to have two big, huge uses because it's going to be two cards on the board at the same time, two fields. So you can't, you know, just play a field to get it off. And if you do hit a back row card and it's not, you know, it's not something you were hoping for, then yeah, great, you take out an MST. That's, you know, that still sucks. You want to hit the good stuff. But this is a great option for a big back row heavy format, and it is a great tech card that at least I feel doesn't get enough play. I'm just going to go over that effect one more time right there. Just waiting for the camera to fully zoom in, and make sure, not zoom in, but make sure, you know, you can see everything, so that way you can see exactly what this looks like if you're going on Dueling Network or DN. It is Nightbeam, and your opponent cannot chain said card. But here is one other negative that I didn't go over. So in this scenario, your opponent has 2 back row cards. You Nightbeam the first one, regardless which one it is. If he or she, we have Yu-Gi-Oh players that play this, my apologies. I tend to forget when I'm tired and I, you know, play too much. But if they have something that's chainable, say MST, they can actually chain the MST, target your Nightbeam, and then basically use the other card as a chain 3. So that's something also to keep in mind there. It's pretty easy to counter. The other thing in this case scenario, if they don't have it, then it's going to go bye-bye completely. But if they do have it, they can chain their other card and then chain the card that you were targeting. But that's pretty much, you know, that's just the pretty much scenario of it. Each one of these cards have their pros and their weaknesses. Malcat, Nightbeam, Tech Tuesday. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know what you think of these 2 cards in the comments below. Again, don't mind that being in a sleeve. I kind of just took it out of the sleeve as this was sitting in a binder. And a really old sleeve. But you can find this in Galactic Overlord. And you can probably find it on eBay for a pretty freaking cheap price. Not that hard to find. You can find Malcats for 50 cents. So if you're a budget player, these are great options. For creative builds, you know, massive destruction against the back row. As long as it's not going to hurt your deck, it's a great option. And Nightbeam's just great for those other decks that it will hurt. I'm ready for the Yu-Gi-Oh Council. If you enjoyed this Tech Tuesday, then make sure to hit the like button. Leave a comment for any deck that you want to see that hasn't been on the council as of yet, because I constantly need to say that, and I will get to them. It's just so that way I know what you guys want. If you guys are proactive and you tell us what, you know, you want to see, then we know what to put out there. And finally, if you're new to the channel and you haven't already, but if you did, I thank you again, then subscribe for more. I'm ready for the Yu-Gi-Oh Council, and this has been Tech Tuesday. We do this every Tuesday. Every single Tuesday. Finally, just share the video. Sharing is caring. The more you know. Just had to get that in there. And I will see you on the next video in a few short hours. Thanks for watching. Peace.